Cam Young at 30-1. I think it's a really nice course for him at the Rocket Mortgage in Detroit, Michigan for him. Wyndham Clark at 36-1. And I also Alex Noren at 60-1.
My Morency drunken Brit golf pick, which does win like 2-3 times a year, guys. Some insanely enough. But I'm going to say Matt Fitzpatrick.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe that SJ now is the number one player in the world. The things that he can do from the point of attack, offensively and defensively, his ability to drive downhill and score at all three levels. And the thing about I like most about this young man at 26, he's so humble. He's so humble. And that speaks to the whole culture of OKC that Sam Presti and Mark Daigneault has built. Humble team, folks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
No way that I'm betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers for any reason whatsoever.
No.
Ever. Like, when they had LeBron James, it was a different story. I think Spider's great. He's no LeBron. I don't see him carrying them to a title. And I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks never get it done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not to go to an organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course than OKC, right?
The Early Line, only on Sport.
It's Sunday, and you know the place to be. It's Pro Baseball Today, right here on the Sports Grid Network, Sirius XM Channel 159, Donnie Rightside and Tom Vecchio. And usually I say to start this show, we got 2 hours of the hottest topics in every single game that hit on the card, which includes best bet winners, pitching props, home runs, you name it here. But this time, Tom, we're in the Olympics. Used to be a runner, correct me if I'm wrong here. Used to be in track and field. Let's sprint it out today and do it.
Yeah, a little bit of a different show today. It's only going to be 1 hour, 10 to 11. So everything that we do in 2 hours, we're going to get done in one. If everyone's been watching the show, let's just get to this quickly. You've been watching the show. You know, Donnie and I love to dive into players, and we list off 5, 6, 7 players that we're targeting, all these different splits. Might be a little bit of a higher level today just because we are working with a condensed time, but we got to get rolling.
Yeah, we're ready to go. I'm hitting the retweets out here. The people certainly love the Major League Baseball show, preempted for Wimbledon here, but that doesn't mean we can't get the information that you absolutely need to get you ready. Let me just start here, Tom. I always thought there's a couple different days, like you say, like week 17 or week 18, I guess it would be in football, the last game of the season. Boy, you better understand exactly what the stakes are. And you might say, like, well, what do you mean, Donnie? It's a regular season. These games matter. I'm telling you, from prior experience, the Sunday before All-Star break has some oddities that get thrown at you, some teams that look disinterested, pitchers that are heavy favorites somehow just not pitching well. How do you approach the final Sunday before All-Star break? Because to me, I take a little bit tep and say, I better make sure I'm on my P's and Q's today.
Yeah, I was going to mention this. I can remember specific times where a bona fide frontline starter, he's going to give you 6, 7 innings, 8, 9 strikeouts. 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, and he gets pulled early because he may be on the All-Star team. He may make an appearance, but it's also like we can give him a full week off. So we can do that. We can take out one of our starters who may not be going to the All-Star game, give him 2 at-bats. He gets pulled early. We just throw in a replacement, whatever might be, one of the backup bench players, again, just to give him a full week off or whatever it might be. So keep that in mind. You could decrease the unit size. Maybe you have a smaller, you condense the number of bets that you're doing today, whatever it might be. I would say take those precautions, take those steps today.
Yeah, seeing a couple big favorites out there, minus 250s, minus 260s here in a couple spots. We'll certainly be able to hit those. But it is the All-Star break, Tom, which means the All-Star festivities. Are they tonight? No, there's actually no Sunday night baseball game either. Letting those players fly out to Atlanta tomorrow. A high of 91 degrees. Home Run Derby is going to take place. Then Tuesday, the All-Star game. Wednesday and Thursday, off days. Back on Friday night. So basically a week off for the All-Star festivities. And let's start with the Home Run Derby. Before we get into the numbers itself, do you like the Home Run Derby? Do you like the way it's played out here, Tom? And also, from a fan perspective, not a gambling perspective, if you didn't have a bet, do you still watch it here?
Yeah, I do still watch it. I enjoy it. It's obviously great to see a ton of home runs, obviously something that I historically have loved. It's obviously a very unique format. So when you are betting on it, again, decrease the unit size. And obviously there are better ways to go about it. I don't want to be just taking an outright on Cal Raleigh, but if I do think, on an outright on Cal Raleigh is worth it, can I pair that with something, him to go over X amount of home runs in the first round, whatever it might be, and then maybe take a direct matchup as those markets will open up as the event is going on? Because I'd rather take, Cal Raleigh to beat James Wood in the final, because we're going to be getting a better price at that. So, shop the different books, find the different outcomes. You could always take two players to both make the semifinals. We go from 8-4 to 2-1, obviously. So there's different ways to go about it. But I would still be watching it even if there were no betting implications.
And also, we're going to be watching because there's nothing really going on in the sports landscape. It's like, hey, I got to miss Game 6 of the NBA Finals to watch the Home Run Derby. Like tomorrow night, that is going to be center stage, and it takes a long time to get through. Now, if we look at the leaderboards there for the Home Run Derby champion, at least odds-wise here, Cal Raleigh plus 270 price, O'Neal Cruz plus 320, James Wood 4-1, Buxton 9-1, Matt Olson plus 950, Caminero 10-1, Rooker 12-1, and Jazz Chisholm 16-1. For me, it's, what's interesting? Because usually see like the Aaron Judges, the Giancarlo Stantons, the Pete Alonso's like, oh, you know what? Those guys are used to winning those competitions at a much lower price. I look down the scale. Like guys that really interest me, Matt Olson in his home ballpark. Junior Caminero, I think, has a great swing. Brent Rooker out there for Sacramento at a 12-1 price. Jazz Chisholm in the torpedo bat at 16-1. Are you looking up top just for the competition winner? Or are you saying, you know what? I'm just going to take some money here on some guys because there's not a lot of guys that are used to this home run derby here, Tom.
They're really not. There's no one that's a veteran of the home run derby. There's no, like you said, no Vladdy, no Pete Alonso, whatever it might be. Nope. To me, I have interest in Byron Buxton. He's from Georgia. So you go with the home team narrative with Matt Olson, who is replacing Ronald Acuna. If anyone didn't know, he is replacing Acuna. But I don't mind a little bit of Buxton. He's kind of in that middle ground. We're not taking one of the favorites at plus 270. I'm not dropping all the way down. But Buxton in his home state at plus 900 or wherever you can find it, kind of like him.
Yeah, it's interesting that the way it's going to play out. And again, 91 degrees. It's Atlanta. A lot of balls hitting off the chop house there in right field. Just for the format layout, the first round, 8 participants go with the top 4 obviously advancing. The timing here, first and semifinals, 3 minutes or 40 pitches, whatever comes first. So it's always interesting. There's minor tweaks on a year-to-year basis, but I don't really get down to the rules so much as compared to who I think has a chance to win, but more of that price point entering into it. But we'll all watch tomorrow, Tom. It'll be a lot of fun to play out. And also, how about some other home run derby props here for some fun? 2025 total home runs hit by all players. 235.5 is what it's set. Over or under in that one for you, Tom?
I want to say over. Last year, there were 225 total home runs hits. If you look back to 2023, it was over 300, but the format was different. So again, year to year changes. These things are a little bit different. And then it's like, they have the golden ball. You get the bonus time if you hit X amount over 400 feet or wherever it might be. Like those rules do impact the literal number of swings that a player can have. So I would say over just because I want to enjoy things. I want to see a number of home runs, but it'd be at a much smaller unit size just to have a little bit of action.
By the way, I'm going to ask you a question here because there's no real handicap per se, but I'm going to take Brent Rooker at a 12-1 price to win home run derby. Okay. If you just had to pick one player to win it all, who are you going with, Tom?
I would go Buxton. Rooker, Wood in that order for a variety of different reasons. There is some data to suggest that heavier players do fare better in these tournaments, or I should say in this literal event, just because they have the stamina to do so. It doesn't seem... it seems a little counterintuitive. Heavier players, you think they get more winded, but Vladdy, Pete Alonso, these players have the overall strength to continuously get it done rather than a lighter player like Jazz Chisholm. So I like Byron Buxton. I like Rooker second, and then I would go to probably James Wood.
By the way, big Buxton yesterday. How about a cycle getting ready for the All-Star game? We thought he got hit by a pitch and he was going to be down for some time. Not so fast, man. Buxton is right back at it. Should be fun in the All-Star game, which leads us to Tuesday night's festivities, Tom. That is the actual All-Star game. Superstars all across the board, including the starting pitchers, which is a big nod and a big feather in your cap for your career to start an All-Star game. Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal. Bang, bang. How about that?
Yeah, the two reigning Cy Young Award winners, two of the favorites this year, at least when it comes to Skubal for the American League. If we want to quickly talk about the All-Star Game MVP, I have a really quick take if we can get into that.
Let's go.
So,
go right into it.
I don't want to go to Ohtani, Judge. Like, some of these players aren't going to play. They're going to give some. Ellie De La Cruz. Let's have a little bit of fun. 35-1 Ellie De La Cruz. Donnie, let's say you didn't watch the game and you woke up the next day, you woke up on Wednesday morning and you looked at the stat sheet and you're like, Ellie De La Cruz, a homer, 1 or 2 stolen bases, and makes some crazy diving catch. Would you be surprised? No. You would, a homer and a stolen base for Ellie. He does that all the time. So we might as well take a shot on someone further down the list than going to the chalk with Ohtani or Judge.
Exactly. Like, you take a look at Ohtani, and again, it's still a nice price at plus 550, but it's like, all right, well, somebody has to outshine somebody else. So you might as well go down the list. Like, if I'm just looking at, like, the Philadelphia Phillies, who are my team, like Kyle Schwarber, like, the chances, and you're right, a home run you need to probably have, right? But the extracurriculars, like if it's a 3-run home run and you won the game in the 7th inning, that's going to count more. But you're so worried about Ellie De La Cruz because Ellie De La Cruz can have 2 singles and 4 stolen bases in the game. You know what I mean? Like he can actually do some crazy things to keep that competition up. But the All-Star festivities start tomorrow, as we said, with Home Run Derby. Then Tuesday, it's the All-Star game. But you know what we got to do, Tom? We got 1 hour to get through every single game on this card and also end with best bets and the dogs that have been so good to us over the past couple weeks, Tom. What do you feel? Are you ready for the sprint? Do you have the Gatorade? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Been up for a while, caffeinated. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, I'm uncaffeinated and I'm hungry at this time. So you know I'm sprinting. Hungry dogs run faster. That's what we do today. Handicapping comes up next.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, is he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Cooper flag against Bronny James feels like Mike DeCourcy against Mike Tyson. I'm sorry. I mean, let's be real about this. We're talking about a generational prospect in Cooper Flag and LeBron's kid who averaged 5.5 points in his 1 year of Division I basketball. I'm not saying LeBron is a poor player, but I don't see him as an equal attraction or an equal.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Oh, yeah. Time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation. It's a 135 start. That's the Rays and the Red Sox. Overnight, roughly a pick'em. This morning, waking up more of a minus 120 or so price heading towards Boston. The line opened up at 9 overnight, 8.5s at most outlets here. Still some 9s are showing. It's Pepio, it's Bayo. Nice weather conditions in Boston. And this is one of those games, Tom, I ask you about as well. We'll handicap it, but how much do you put in the teams absolutely on fire?
Yeah, you have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early, they're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off, they're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently. Little spoiler, I kind of do like the Rays in this game. Both pitchers have been solid overall. When we're looking at Pepio and we see, a decent strikeout rate, I'm not going to say like it's overwhelming this season. It's 24.6%. The walks are fine. Home runs are a slight issue for him, which can be a bad, downgrade at a field like Fenway. But man, Brian Bayo has been pretty darn solid. We have a 28% ground ball rate from him and a 28% hard contact rate. He's not allowing home runs. He doesn't strike out a whole ton of hitters overall, but I see this as a spot for the Rays to get right before the first half of the season ends. No matter how hot the Red Sox have been, I don't expect too many, at least halfway decent teams to get swept. I like the Rays today.
By the way, really good-looking lineups as well. Duran, Bregman, Anthony. And by the way, Bregman coming back into the fold is really fun for that baseball team. Anthony, Yoshida, Story, Rafaela, all high weighted on base percentages and ISO power numbers. And something we're not usually talking about Tampa Bay over the past couple years, but consistently on a day-to-day baseball this year. Take a look at the first 6 to 7 guys in their lineup, all high ISOs and weighted on base percentages. Nice atmosphere there in Boston, but 2 decent pitchers, as Tom said, on the card today. 80-degree temperatures, more of a right to left wind blowing. We'll see how that one factors out. Game number 2, we'll talk about 9:21, 9:22 on the rotation. That's Miami and Baltimore. Yuri Perez on the mound for the Marlins going up against Baltimore's Mr. Young out here. 1:35 p.m. start. And if we look at the side, 135s overnight, Tom, dropping a little bit, mostly around that minus 120 price across the marketplace. 9s across the board today. Miami and Baltimore. How are we looking here?
This game, I want to say Young is going to be a better pitcher than he currently is. Like a 6.14 ERA through 22 innings is not good. But of course, ERA doesn't tell the full story. A 4.23 xFIP. We got to say, that's not amazing, but it is better than 6.14. He's not a big strikeout pitcher. Their home runs are a little bit of an issue. Yuri Perez has put up some really solid games as of late. Obviously, a pitcher that's dealt with a ton of injuries over the past few years. He also has some decent strikeout stuff. The walks are a little bit of an issue for him. Not really home run issues. I see this as a clear under game. Both pitchers, I think, are actually pretty solid. And I know the hitting has come around in a big way for the Orioles as of late, with a lot of their players having slow starts to the season. But Yuri Perez, if we have a 21% hard contact rate allowed from him, he does not do the thing that the Orioles excel at. He actually can negate all of that and keep the ball in the park, keep the ball down, and that would sap the power away from the Orioles. So I almost like the Marlins to come away with the win. I'm not sold on it, but I like the under more than anything.
Yeah, and as Tom pointed out too, by the way, weather conditions here to start the game. It's going to be warm and muggy with the wind blowing out, to left field, which we like. But there might be a heavy rainstorm in the middle of this game, which could knock those pitchers out depending on when it comes in. For me, if I'm looking from a batter's perspective, and hint for later in the show, Jesus Sanchez and also Kyle Stowers there with a little bit of power options here. But watch out for the rain there, and we'll see what happens down in the Charm City. Let's move up to the Bronx and the Bronx Bombers here. The AL East versus the NL Central. That's 9:23, 9:24, a 1:35 start. The Chicago Cubs are starting Shota Imanaga, the left-handed pitcher, going up against Will Warren. This line, again, opened up overnight, right around that pick'em, minus 120 to minus 125s. We're now seeing it a little bit higher in the favor of the Yankees here, Tom, at a 130 price, a total that's listed at 9. Up in the Bronx, a 5-2 finish yesterday. Good performance by the Cubbies. Can they back it up today again?
They certainly can, and this is the type of pitcher with Imanaga that can certainly, stifle the Yankees bats, who have been hot as of late, despite the fact that they weren't winning games. They were on a streak they were on a streak prior to yesterday of scoring 5+ runs in 10 straight games, I believe it was. So they were scoring even though they weren't winning every game. When it comes to Will Warren, like a 28% strikeout rate is absolutely unbelievable. But when you couple that with a 10.4% walk rate, that drives up his pitch count, and he won't always be in a spot to kind of flex that strikeout rate, especially going up against a powerful lineup such as the Cubs. So when we look at things overall, I think Imanaga, if he can get back to some of the form that he was last season, keeping the ball down, even though the strikeouts won't be super high, he can duel Will Warren, and I actually expect the under to come through in this game. And I don't mind taking a shot on the Cubs simply because they're plus money. I would take a shot on the Cubs pregame and then look to back the Yankees in-game at a number that's closer to even money.
Analytics do like Will Warren here, Thomas. You take a look at his season, should I say last 60 days, a 78 xFIP minus, which is really good, a 3.21 xFIP number, really good, but the ERA, 4.67, so getting maybe a little bit unlucky, but you're right, it does start with that 28% K rate. That certainly is going to help you out there. Let's move it out to Detroit, the Motor City. Watch out for those Seattle Mariners heading into the stretch right now. Gilbert taking on Flaherty, 9-13, 9-14, a 140 start. This is a pick'em, Tom, across the board. This is an 8 across the board here. I know analytics love Logan Gilbert, even if that ERA says elsewhere.
Yeah, the Tigers, I'm on the Tigers today. It's really that simple. I think they're a great team. I don't expect them to get swept by really any team. Logan Gilbert is awesome. Jack Flaherty is having an insanely up and down season. I think Jack Flaherty is a really solid pitcher. He's given up way too many home runs. He goes out there, gives up 3 home runs, but he also seemingly gets to 7 or 8 strikeouts, and he has a good performance. It may not be great. So when we're looking at a strikeout rate at 29%, but also 1.60 home runs per 9, something's got to change. 4.7 ERA, which we don't love, but a 3.65 xFIP is really solid from Jack Flaherty. So give me the Tigers, come away with the win, and I also think we see the under yet again.
Flaherty does struggle a bit with left-handed batters, so there's that big bopper in the middle of the big dumper. Cal Raleigh out there. You take a look at Luke Raleigh as well. And also, there's a guy named Canzone on that team, which could surprise, say, in the 86-degree temperatures with a light wind. I should say maybe a crosswind from right foul pole to left foul pole. If you're looking at the Detroit batters, it's a fun lineup. Colt Keith, you take a look at Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Zach McKinstry, Javi Baez, all really good numbers against right-handed pitchers over the past 30 days. The one thing we love about Logan Gilbert, that strikeout rate on the season is 35%. Even over the past 30 days, it's still 33%. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, but hard contact giving him a little bit of issues here at this point. We'll see what weighs out, but we don't expect the Detroit Tigers to get swept, and I expect some of those bats here to wake up in Motown. Are you waking up with us at the Sports Grid Network? You should be. It's Pro Baseball Today, and we're in a sprint, people.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Cooper flag against Bronny James feels like Mike DeCourcy against Mike Tyson. I'm sorry. I mean, let's be real about this. We're talking about a generational prospect in Cooper Flag and LeBron's kid who averaged 5.5 points in his 1 year of Division I basketball. I'm not saying LeBron is a poor player, but I don't see him as an equal attraction or an equal.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's get after it, people. We got some action in Kansas City. And by the way, Juan Soto streaking as well. Let's get to the sprint back to it here. 9:25, 9:26. The New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals. Clay Holmes on the mound going up against Noah Cameron. You take a look at the 210 start today, a -144 price. That's dropping now almost a pick 'em, around a -120, -110 split both sides. 8.5 as the total today. Holmes, Cameron. What are we looking at today?
So it's going to be Holmes, but the reports are out there that Sean Manaea is expected to be the projected long reliever behind Clay Holmes. Obviously, this could be a boost to the Mets rotation, maybe not literally today, but moving forward, because we know that Manaea hasn't pitched. Noah Cameron has been, pretty solid for the Royals this year, calling him up 2.56 ERA, which he is outperforming by a pretty decent margin, considering he has a 4.12 xFIP overall in the season. He is not a big strikeout pitcher. He does not get hit hard by home runs. He does not allow too many walks. I honestly don't know what to make of him because the numbers suggest that he's due for regression, but he's not the type of pitcher theoretically that would get hit hard with the 30% hard contact rate. But the Mets have been heating up, specifically at the top of their lineup with Lindor and Juan Soto, who may be an all-star snub. So I like the Mets to come away with the win. I think you're getting a relatively decent price on them, despite the pitching. We're not, it's going to be Clay Holmes for a time. No, it's going to be him, then plus Sean Manaea. I actually like the Mets to come away with the sweep.
How about this here? Let's take a look at going up against a lefty. Noah Cameron's a lefty. Brandon Nimmo, a 375 weighted on base percentage, his last 34 at-bats against lefties. Look at the rest of this lineup. 254, 238, 251, 148, 049, 263, 0, and 178 on the projected starters today out there in Kansas City for the Mets. We'll see how that one does play out. 9:15, 9:16, the battle of the Lone Star State. That's Texas, that's Houston. It's Eovaldi and it's Brown, two premier pitchers in the American League at a 210 start. Slight favorite here towards Houston at home at a -130 to -135 price. And look at that total. It's a touchdown, Tommy boy. It's at 7. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a really tough game to handicap. I would love to see it at 8. Obviously, I don't think we'd ever get it there with this type of pitchers, but we saw some home runs yesterday. We saw and granted, there were a lot of solo home runs yesterday, just the teams trading back and forth. But with two pitchers like this, it's really tough to take an over. I think the under will come through. I see it at -120, so there's a little bit of juice on it. But you're seeing Hunter Brown and Eovaldi on the mound. Hunter Brown, 286 xFIP, and Eovaldi's at 272. Like, these are two elite pitchers that we see. I think the under's the right side, but the 7 does certainly worry me.
It's because I always take a look at it too. It's like it takes 8 to beat you. Like, what are we doing in this game? Are we blowing up both of these pitchers? But we do say this again with a grain of salt. It's the day before the All-Star game. Like, these games, like, hey, it's supposed to be 3-2. Oh no, it's 3-2 after the second inning. Like, whoa, what's going on at this point right now? We'll see how it plays out. But I do want to start this here. Corey Seager, he's back for me, Tom. Like, now, 30-day splits, like against right-handed pitching, 339 ISO, 469 weighted on base percentage, low K rate, high walk rate. But just spend it. Corey Seager, good to be back on my cards here, Tom. It just is.
It really is. I believe there was a segment a couple of weeks ago where before I came on TEL, you were talking with Ben, and you said Corey Seager had a 0 ISO over whatever stretch it was. He would just literally was hitting no power, but him and the Rangers lineup seem to be back.
Yeah, exactly. How about back today, Cleveland and the Chicago White Sox? Cantillo, the lefty, I want to say. I don't know if it's Cantillo. I'm going to go Cantillo in this one versus Aaron Savali, a guy we love to beat up on. 9:17, 9:18, a 210 start. How about Cantillo and the Guardians here at a -142 price to -135, depending where he's shopping at. 8.5 across the board. Anytime I see Savali, even though the Guardians are struggling, Tom, I'm betting there's going to be 5 runs by the Guardians today. How about that teaser?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Cantillo, he's a younger pitcher for them. He's jumping into the rotation. He only has 2 starts. He is a 3.29 xFIP, which is pretty darn solid. He has a 30% strikeout rate, but he does have a 12.7% walk rate, does allow 1.26 home runs per 9. So whenever we see Aaron Savali, it's the opposite team. It's Guardians today. I think they get it through. I want to see their full starting lineup because we know that J-Ram opted out of the All-Star game to get healthy. So he may not be in there, but you give me some combination of Kwan, Jones, Manzardo, Santana for an HRR. Those 3 hitters, or 3 of those 4, I think they could be in a good spot.
Exactly. Like, I don't love the lineup. I just love the matchup that I think we're getting here. And also the past couple games, the Guardians are waking up a bit. 82-degree temperatures, light wind blowing out to left field. That should help. And you just look at Savali on the season, a 15% K rate here. Last 30 days, Tom, an 11% K rate here with high walks. ISO at 210. Weighted on base percentage, 372 over the past month. On the season, a 222 ISO against and a 369 weighted on base percentage. Let's go out on top here, Cleveland. You need to get me 5 runs today, and I do think they will actually do that. Look at the sprint. It's on. We're halfway down. Knocking games down left and right. It's Tommy and Donnie on a Sunday right here.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Cooper flag against Bronny James feels like Mike DeCourcy against Mike Tyson. I'm sorry. I mean, let's be real about this. We're talking about a generational prospect in Cooper Flag and LeBron's kid who averaged 5.5 points in his 1 year of Division I basketball. I'm not saying LeBron is a poor player, but I don't see him as an equal attraction or an equal.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Right back at it, Pro Baseball Today, SportsGrid Network, Sirius XM Channel 159 in a 1-hour sprint. It's Tom Vecchio, it's myself, it's Pro Baseball Today. Let's get after it in Milwaukee today, 9:03, 9:04 on the rotation, a 2:10 start. That's Jake Irvin on the mound going up against Freddie Peralta, and a big favorite here. Opened up overnight around a minus 230 price, Tom. We're seeing as high as minus 250s and minus 260s out here in the betting landscape. 8.5 is a total overnight, still sits at 8.5. Monster favorite for the Brew Crew here. What are we liking?
We're liking the Brewers. We're liking the Brewers lefties today. Jake Irvin has struggled. 1.94 home runs per 9 allowed to lefties this year. 5.04 xFIP. A nearly 250 ISO allowed is absolutely terrible. 45% fly ball rate. 39% hard contact rate allowed, specifically to lefties from Jake Irvin. Freddie Peralta on the other side has been super solid this year. You know, I had my concerns about him coming into the season just because we've seen his strikeout rate drop, but he's kind of settled at 26%, which is solid. The home runs are down compared to the last few years. I like the Brewers. I like the Brewers early. I like the Brewers hitters. I think they come away with the win. Jake Irvin just isn't that good.
Yeah, Frelick there starting on the leadoff spot, a 178.6 ISO and a 336 weighted on base percentage and low K rates against right-handed pitching. And then you see Yelich in the middle of that lineup having a great season. 70 bats over the past month, a 273 ISO and a weighted on base percentage of 435 against right-handed pitchers. Christian Yelich, Well, now let's do some yard work today. Talking about some yard work, let's head down and take a look at St. Louis, which they're taking on Atlanta, who Atlanta is going to host the All-Star game. Daniel on the mound versus Gray, a mixed bag of what we're probably getting out of the Braves, but Sonny Gray looking to end the first half of the Major League Baseball season in style. They're about a -160 favorite, Tom, and an 8.5 total. How do we approach the Atlanta Braves today? Playing better baseball, at least in their last 2 games.
So I like the under in this game. I also like an under on a pitcher strikeout prop, which we'll get to a little bit later. There's going to be some rain in this game, and it could come in the middle. So when you have a pitcher like Sonny Gray on the mound, who is not arguably, but the best pitcher that the Cardinals have, and if they're pushing for a wild card spot, if he goes out there and there's rain, and there's a delay, he's not coming back out, especially the day before the All-Star break when you have a chance to give him some rest. So yes, Sonny Gray's great. Davis Daniel on the other side, he has literally 1 inning pitched this sample size up from this season. We look back to last year, 20% strikeout rate with the Angels, 4.5% walk rate. He's just a non-factor when it comes to pitching. The fly balls are going to shoot for him at 43% last year overall. The Cardinals are by far the better team if we look solely at the pitching matchup, but I'm not sure Sonny Gray is going to be out there because of the rain.
Yeah, Sonny Gray, the best analytical pitcher on my card today, Tom, at a 61 xFIP minus and a 2.46 xFIP number. Absolutely tremendous stuff. Let's keep moving down the list. How about Toronto and the A's out in Sacktown? Heat, humidity, you got it today. 919, 920 on the rotation, a 405 start. Look at that total. We love it. Open up 10.5, still sits 10.5, and a slight favorite here towards Barrios here of Toronto, Tom. Call it a -130. How are we looking for those A's and Toronto Blue Jays today?
We're looking at more runs again. You know, that's what we got on Friday night, at least with 7-6 final. I think the runs come early. I think they come often. These are not pitchers you need to be overly worried about. Barrios is a good pitcher. He's not the same pitcher he once was, but, 20% strikeout rate is certainly dropping. It really comes down to Jeff Springs, the pitcher for the Athletics. 1.48 home runs per 9 allowed this season. A 47% fly ball rate allowed overall. When we're looking at high 80s, low 90s in temperature with a little bit of wind blowing out. I think it's runs. And when we look at things, all things considered, like -126 is a pretty darn fair price on the Blue Jays money line.
And by the way, Springs, not a strikeout guy. That Toronto lineup does not strike out against lefties either. Balls in play at 93 degrees in Sacktown. Maybe we just get some runs to be safe on that Toronto Blue Jays side here. Keeping it moving once again. That's the sprint we're going through, people. And this is Arizona and Los Angeles. It's the Angels. 929, 930 on the rotation. A 407 start. You're looking at a pick'em, Tom, across the board. An 8.5 overnight is the total. That's risen to 9 now. So we're looking Kelly and Soriano. I know you got some statistics there for Soriano as well.
Yeah, Soriano. I was digging into some of the stuff earlier this morning, getting into it. Like, if you told me a pitcher had a 25% fly ball rate, I'd be like, that is crazy low. Like, that's insane. Soriano's at 15% this season. He has a 60+% ground ball rate, which is crazy. No hard contact from him. 0.33 home runs per 9 allowed is absolutely insane. Now, the issue with him is that the walks are creeping at 10% or higher. There's no strikeouts. So what do I always say when it comes to this pitcher? He can absolutely stifle teams. And you look back at some of his recent game logs, we're talking about 0 or 1 earned runs. However, there are other games where he's up at 5, 7 earned runs, 7 in his most recent outing, because it's single, walk, single, double, and all of a sudden, although the balls aren't hit hard, they're still in play, and he has a 324 BABIP. So I like the Diamondbacks. I think Merrill Kelly is a very good pitcher, and the inconsistency from Soriano is just too much to buy into, although it is a very even price for the Angels.
Yeah, Soriano's got some pretty good analytical numbers. We're getting roughed up in the past couple starts that he's had. We'll see if that continues in the Diamondbacks and that unofficial end to the first half of the season. Obviously, the All-Star breaker, they played more than half of their games. We'll see how they go into it. Let's take a look at the Phillies and the San Diego Padres. First couple games went to the Padres here. No doubt, Phillies do struggle sometimes, and we'll see if they can break out today. But a good pitching matchup on table. 909, 910 on the rotation. A 410 start East Coast, which means 110 out there on the West Coast. Sanchez, the lefty, versus Nick Pivetta, the righty, the former Philadelphia Philly. You see that total? No surprise, Tom. We're at a 7.5 across the board. A slight favorite for the Philadelphia Phillies at a -130 price, but also Christopher Sanchez has been fantastic in the first half of the season. An all-star snub. Does he sort of go out and show him, yeah, here's what you missed here, Tom, in the final game before the all-star break?
I love the Phillies today. I love the Phillies. It's a fair price, and let me buy into a little bit of the narrative. And I saw earlier, I think it said that the Phillies were still going to pay Sanchez's all-star contractual bonus of whatever, $50,000, but they're still going to pay it. I love the Phillies today. Sign me up at a decent price. Like -130 is very fine. not to say Pavetta's been super solid this year, but there's always a chance that we see watered down lineups. As we always do, we talk about the Open like, we have some wacky stuff that happens on the Sunday before the All-Star break. To see Machado, Merrill, Arise, Tatis, some combination of them not play because they've already won the series, would that shock you? No, I don't think so. So give me the Phillies. Sanchez has been great, -130 on the money line. Let's fire it up.
Yeah, we'll see if the Phillies end up getting swept into it because the Mets back in first place technically right now in the NL East. Let's get to Cincinnati, Tom's Great American Small Ballpark over there. Gomber, who looks like a guy you want to get after today, going up against Nick Martinez. And by the way, how bad are the Rockies? Like Nick Martinez is a -250 to 260 to 270 favorite out here and a total of 9.5. I do like some of those hitters for Cincinnati, home runs, and also, by the way, sneaky Nick Martinez prop I'm going to have at the end of the show as well. How about that?
So when it comes to the Reds, I love them today. I also have a player prop for the Sell Me segment, which we will get to, maybe their leadoff hitter. But when you look at Austin Gomber, yeah, it's a smaller sample size this year, but 1.85 home runs per 9 allowed, horrible. A 10.1% strikeout rate is insanely low. It's terrible. Now, granted, a 4.6% walk rate is very good. I have to give him that. But he's not walking hitters. He's giving them home runs. He's not striking them out. A 50% fly ball rate and a 35.5% hard contact rate in a park such as the Great American Small Park with some juice in the lineup on the other side. Donnie, if we run down the starting lineup for the Reds real quick. Friedel, McClain, Ellie De La Cruz, Hayes, Steer, Marte, Stevenson's even got some power. You got 6 hitters you could realistically go to.
No, you're certainly right. I'm just taking a look at the game log there for Austin Gomber, and he doesn't have a lot of starts coming back, but his last couple starts, 4 2/3, 4 earned. He had an actually nice start with 5 and 2, back-to-back 5-inning starts were good, but that 4 2/3, 9 earned runs. And on my list, right, like you circle some players and some teams, like, I like the Reds, and right down the list, it was Hayes, Steer, and Cruz, right in order, where it's almost like I'm fighting with myself, Tom, on which guy I actually want to hit a home run today. One of those 3 will hit a home run. I hope I picked the right one, which you'll find out coming up here shortly. Let's just set the table for one more game, Tom, before you hit the break. 9:27, 9:28. It's a 2:10 start. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Minnesota Twins. It's Woods Richardson going up against Keller. A favorite here towards Minnesota, Tom, at a -142 price. You take a look at the total. That's listed at 9. If we look at the weather temperatures here for the Twin City today, you got to like what you see. Mid-80s with a double-digit wind blowing out to left field will certainly that makes a difference here. Any quick thoughts on this game? Because we're headed again right after the break, Tom.
I kind of like the Pirates not to get embarrassed after they did yesterday. It's a lot to ask for, and it's only +120.
O'Neal Cruz. What up next?
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Cooper flag against Bronny James feels like Mike DeCourcy against Mike Tyson. I'm sorry. I mean, let's be real about this. We're talking about a generational prospect in Cooper Flag and LeBron's kid who averaged 5.5 points in his 1 year of Division I basketball. I'm not saying LeBron is a poor player, but I don't see him as an equal attraction or an equal.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Let's finish up here on that Pittsburgh Pirates-Minnesota Twins game with Woods Richardson as a heavy favorite in this one. And why? Because you normally look, Tom, at that Pittsburgh Pirates lineup and say, I can't trust it. But is there a player that you might be trusting in that Pirates lineup today?
Yeah, we'll get to that. There's certainly a Pirates player that I do like, and he may be taking center stage tomorrow night. Little spoiler for that. But when it comes down to this, like, Simeon Woods Richardson isn't a good pitcher. Like he just isn't. A 4.85 xFIP is terrible. A strikeout rate at 20%, a 9.3% walk rate. We're looking at a 50% fly ball rate. And when we did the preview before the break, you were saying, hey, we got some nice weather up in the Twin Cities. A 50% fly ball rate with at least a little bit of power on the other side from the Pirates. From, a few select hitters. Mitch Keller is a good enough pitcher to kind of suppress the offensive potential from the Twins. And he's going to have to be fighting the same weather that Woods Richardson is. So it's not going to be just in one favor. But you give me a little bit of plus money on the Pirates. They got embarrassed yesterday. I'll take a little bit of plus money and Mitch Keller, who I do think is the better pitcher.
Plus money, baby. All right, how about this? Oh, they can't get through all these games. Like, look, time to spare with the final game. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. Yamamoto versus Ray the lefty, 907, 908 on the rotation, a 405 start, another low total. It's a great pitcher's ballpark at 7.5. You take a look at the Dodgers here as a minus 144 favorite to minus 150, depending where you're shopping at. Yamamoto, Ray, who are we trusting today? How about that?
Yamamoto got absolutely embarrassed in his last start when they were up in Milwaukee earlier in the week. And the question I always ask is like, all right, is that a bad game or is that a sign of bad things to come? I think that was a bad game on the road. The Dodgers were in this downturn, absolutely, horrible, losing whatever, 6, 7 straight games, whatever it was. I think he bounces back today. I'm not overly worried about the Giants lineup. I like under 7.5. I don't want to lay the minus 142 with the Dodgers just because they have been so inconsistent. And Robbie Ray is certainly a pitcher that can kind of extend that inconsistency for them, at least from their hitting perspective. So I like the under. Robbie Ray is super solid. Yamamoto is super solid overall. We're looking at 2 xFIPs that are at 3.15 and 3.78. I just don't see a whole lot of runs overall, especially in this ballpark.
By the way, pressure feels off for the Dodgers. Imagine the Dodgers would have lost yesterday and heading into today, oh my God, are we going to lose close to 10 games heading into the All-Star break? A huge win for them yesterday. We'll see if that really relieves them and they play better baseball today. We'll see what happens. That's every game down. So why don't we start on giving the people what they want with some picks here? And of course, it's the Sell Me Something segment where Tom is going to tell you, as well as myself, a player you might need to watch today and why you need to watch him. Tell him, Tom.
Let's go to TJ Friedel, the leadoff hitter, confirmed in the starting lineup for the Reds for 3+ total bases at plus 240. I love the underlying metrics from him. I love the batted ball data that we saw yesterday. And again, I spoke about Austin Gomber. This is not a matchup you need to be worried about. Now, on the surface, you may be looking at him like, okay, it's a lefty-lefty matchup for him, but Austin Gomber struggles overall. We have line of protection from Friedel because he is hitting in that leadoff spot, and Ellie De La Cruz is coming up behind him. Spencer Steer is at 5, McLean's at 2, and of course, we're going to get to the Rockies bullpen after that. So give me Friedel in the leadoff spot. The lefty-lefty may scare some people away, but I will take a big plus money swing to close out the first half of the season.
There you go. Love the plus money prices. That's what the Sell Me Something segment is. I'm going to ramp it up just a little bit, Tom. Now, I'm going to go with a 5-1 price here. We're going to go to Baltimore. I'm going to fade Brandon Young here, and I want this to get done in the first inning. Why? You take a look at Brandon Young on the season, a 236 ISO against the lefties and a 431 weighted on base percentage. He's not a high K rate guy either. Take a look at Kyle Stowers, 77 at-bats over the past month against right-handed pitching, a 364 ISO and a 467 weighted on base percentage. I'm telling you right now, if Stowers goes out and hits 2 home runs today, and I go, you know what? and I had maybe Jesus Sanchez hint coming up as well, that's going to upset me. But extra base hits are in line for Kyle Stowers. I'll take him at a 5-1 price to get a double today, Tom. How about that? Let's keep it moving. Pitching props that we absolutely love. Is it sunny in St. Louis today or not, Tom? What do we got?
Not going to be sunny in St. Louis again. A lot of rain in the fourth.
Wow.
It is coming before the game. It's going to push back the game. It's going to come in the middle.
I like this cat.
Sonny Gray, under 5.5 strikeouts. I saw it at minus 144. That's why I have it. Of course, shop for the best lines available. I understand it's a little bit of juice. But, again, combining the weather, the Braves lineup are playing. They're hitting much better. And the fact that, again, it's the day before the All-Star break. And, yes, Sonny Gray is a very solid pitcher. You could very realistically go out there and get to 6 strikeouts. If I lose this bet and he gets to 6, I don't expect him to get to 8, 9, 10 kind of performance. It's either going to be right at 6 or it's going to fall under. And, again, if the weather comes and he gets pulled early, we get a win easy.
Now, usually for me, Tom, I take a look at a pitcher's prop and I say to myself, I love to go unders, even if prices at 3.5 and win those, which I've done multiple times. This time, I'm actually going to take a 4.5. I'm going to the over. It's Nick Martinez. I thought, what are you doing? A guy with a 16% K rate on the season, 15% over the past 30 days. Why would you do this? Because it's the Colorado Rockies. Understand this. Right into pitcher Nick Martinez. And I think there's a chance that he's that type of pitcher. Like, hey, you know what? You're going to have some time off. If you got to go 7 innings in this game, we'll let you do that. Look at the K rates for the Colorado Rockies, Tom, against right-handed pitching over the past month. 26% for Moniak, 34% for Goodman, Beck 34%, Tolia 38%, McMahon 44%, Doyle 28%, Farmer 35%, Ritter 38%. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. This has nothing to do with what ballpark you play in. They just can't make contact. For me, I'm going to go Nick Martinez is going to get those 5 Ks, and I'll pay that minus 144. It's a rare, like usually it's like, hey, just fade this. That lineup is a K machine lineup for the Rockies, Tom. I'm hitting it that way. I am.
Absolutely. And this is a chance where you can add in different things because it's the day of the All-Star break. If you think a veteran pitcher is going to get extra innings because they want to save the rest of the bullpen, that's what you're getting from Nick Martinez today.
Absolutely here. Now, look, the Toms, Bombs, and the Donnie's Dingers are coming up here after the break. We're also going to throw in there maybe a prop or two, and also our dogs of the day. It's been very profitable, but it is the All-Star break coming up. So we completed all of those games down the list here, Tom, and certainly getting those betting cards finalized. It is always interesting the way it plays out today. Crazy things can happen, and crazy is the expectations. And tomorrow, Home Run Derby, as we started the top of the show to talk about here. Home runs left and right. I'm going with Brent Rooker there, and then we go into the All-Star break. By the way, real quick here, the All-Star break. No games Monday. Well, there technically is a game Tuesday. It's the All-Star game Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to be chomping at the bit by next Friday night, Tom.
Absolutely, but this is the perfect time to start prepping for football season if we have this downtime.
Oh! How about that? Prepping for football here. And also understand this. At least Major League Baseball doesn't have the All-Star game on a Sunday. The hell will we be talking about today? Thank goodness. There's a full slate today. More picks coming up next.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. Was he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Cooper flag against Bronny James feels like Mike DeCourcy against Mike Tyson. I'm sorry. I mean, let's be real about this. We're talking about a generational prospect in Cooper Flag and LeBron's kid who averaged 5.5 points in his 1 year of Division I basketball. I'm not saying LeBron is a poor player, but I don't see him as an equal attraction or an equal.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right back at it. Final segment here of a 1 hour sprint, and it's time to talk some home runs right now. Tom's Bombs. 3 players, Tom. Who's going yard?
Let's start off with O'Neal Cruz. He's getting warmed up for tomorrow night. We already spoke about how bad Simeon Woods Richardson is. So looking to O'Neal Cruz with, a fantastic 203 ISO overall. We talked about the 50% fly ball rate from Woods Richardson. It's great hitting weather there. Plus 370 is certainly a great price. My favorite of the day is going to be Christian Yelich, who's going up against Jake Irvin, as we mentioned.
Love it.
Christian Yelich is crushing righties this year. 258 ISO versus righties. He comes in with only a 25% fly ball rate. We're saying, oh, how is that possible? He has a 41.5% home run to fly ball ratio. So the fly balls that he does hit do end up going for home runs because that's just his flight path. He's not a high arcing type of hitter like a Vladdy. He's just more of a line drive type of hitter. And Jake Irvin is terrible. Speaking of Vladdy, let's actually turn to one of his teammates, Bo Bichette. Yesterday, Bo Bichette had not 1, not 2, but 3 batted balls at 102 miles per hour or higher. Now, one of them went for a double. He didn't have any home runs, but I love this matchup versus Springs today. I love the hitting environment, and I love that Bo Bichette is locked in at the plate. We're getting high exit velocities in one of the best hitting parks in the league outside of Coors Field.
There you go. Look at that. Cruz, Yelich, and Bichette all in order for me. I'm going to go over some Donnie's dingers today with some good names out here. Jesus Sanchez. I told you, I love myself some Kyle Stowers today. Took him to get a double, but today, Sanchez goes over the wall. 222 ISO power number, 363 weighted on base percentage going up against right-handed pitching. And Brandon Young has struggled with both lefties and righties. Good temperatures today. That's worth a 4-1 price here. How about this? Dominic Canzone. You ever heard that name before? Yeah, it's the Seattle Mariners. Let me tell you about these statistics here over the past month. Jack Flaherty has been giving up good shots here to lefties, a 226 ISO and a 447 weighted on base percentage. How about Canzone? 68 at-bats over the past month against righties, a 269 ISO and a 391 weighted on base percentage. Over the wall we go with Canzone. And then Spencer Steer at a plus 370 price for the Reds. I told you, Hayes, Steer, Cruz. In that order here, I'm picking out Spencer Steer to go yard today. Love the home run props. Let's not get, what? We knocked 2 of these down. We are eating good today between me and Tom's 6 picks here, and that's the way we do it. Also, a quick prop bet that I love. I hinted at it earlier in the show, Tom. It's the Cleveland Guardians team total over 4.5. They get 5 runs today. They end the last, 3 games with finally scoring, and the Guardians get it done today. But now it's time for those big dogs to end the season. Season's over, people. It's the All-Star break. Didn't you know that? Everything's finalized. Football season starts on Monday. Just kidding here. I'm getting excited here at this point. So, Tom, big dog of the day. Where are we going?
Yeah, let's grab some plus money with the Tampa Bay Rays. I just do not expect them to get swept. Brian Bayo has certainly been a very solid pitcher for the Red Sox this season. Ground ball rate is there. The strikeouts are there. However, Ryan Pepiot on the other side for the Rays is also a very solid pitcher. 3.32 ERA. 3.89 xFIP overall, which is very solid. He has a 24.5% strikeout rate, 8.2% walk rate. The issue would be if the Rays do struggle today, it's because, A, it's good hitting weather. The Red Sox lineup is super hot right now, and they're getting healthier with Bregman back in there. Pepiot does allow 1.41 home runs per 9, so I do know that there is a potential downside to him, but he is a good pitcher overall, and I expect him to be due for some positive regression when it comes to the home runs overall in terms of allowing fewer. So I like the price on the Rays. I think they are a good team, and I just don't expect them to get swept. Bayo's been good. I see this as a lower scoring game despite the environment and the weather that we have.
There we go. Let's give out some winning picks as we just talked about a team total there for the Guardians against the White Sox. Get me 5 runs. Get me to the line. And also, how about a dog price? I know, Tommy, you're liking those New York Mets today. I just don't like the Mets against lefties, and I'm just going to take plus money on my big dog of the day. That's a plus 122 price on the Kansas City Royals. So as me and Tom take a look again, it's a team atmosphere. Split those games, plus money in your pocket. Sweep those games, feeling really good heading into the All-Star break. And that's exactly what we're doing, Tom. How quickly did that first half of the season go right here on Pro Baseball Today? Every Sunday it's a meeting place. Today was only 1 hour. Next week back to 2 hours, Tom. How do we feel about the hour sprint? The energy, extremely high here at the end of the show.
Extremely high energy every game. Props even did the All-Star game and home run derby preview, the first segment. We got through it all.
No, we certainly did get through it all. Every single game on the card, every prop angle that you need. And also, we're done at 11 o'clock Eastern right now, which means you got about 2+ hours to finalize your card. Heck, you can watch this show again 2 more hours in a row on replay if you like the information that month as away we go. But next week, we'll watch the All-Star break. But you know what? Next Sunday, we're right back here to start up the second half of the season and that sprint to the finish. We do it all in Pro Baseball Today. For Sammy behind the wheels of steel, Tom Vecchio and Donnie Rightside. Thanks for tuning in to Pro Baseball Today.